Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to the United Regional Chambers Weekly Update. We try to bring you some interesting guests, tell you some things that's going on around the area. And this week, I'm very happy to bring on the spokesman for Kids Day, Mr. Scott Langille. Kids Day is probably one of the most popular events in our entire area. And Scott is the spokesperson for Kids Day. But first, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Tell us a little bit about Scott first.
So I was born and raised in North Attleboro, Massachusetts. Lived here my whole life. Married with two kids. One's going into high school, the other to middle school. And Kids Day has been a part of my life ever since I was, younger than them. And I've watched them grow up through it too. I'm also on the fire department, and that's kind of how I got my start in Kids Day as well. And I've been there for about 26 years now. So that's a little bit about me.
Well, that was I was going to say. How did you get involved in this? Because you're not old enough to be 43 plus get this thing started. You
Yeah,
take from the baby carriage, one or the other.
you'd be surprised to hear I'm actually 46.
Wow. Okay.
So, but
Pretty
thank you
good
though.
for a
Thank you.
man.
So,
Well, tell us now. How did this all organization get started?
yeah. So back in the early 80s, there was a group out there that held a event. I forget the exact name of the group, but they held an event in the Attleboro area. Actually, I believe it was at Mason Field, where Kids Day actually started. But they held an event there called Oktoberfest. After a little while, that kind of ran its course, and there wasn't a whole ton of interest in it anymore. So that group kind of dissolved that. At the same time, a group of firefighters, about four firefighters, realized that there was a need in the area to raise money for people who were a little bit less fortunate than others. Um, so they banded together and they wanted to carry on the traditions of Oktoberfest. And what they did is they created Frontier Night. And Frontier Night became a group of firefighters that put together games, carnival rides, fireworks, and a bonfire. Um, and all the money that they raised, they decided to donate back to the community, to the people who needed it the most. And that's basically how Kids Day started. So Frontier Night ended up running its course over probably 7 or 8 years or so. And then they changed it to Kids Day, a more family friendly oriented event. We don't serve alcohol. And we pride ourselves on being a very safe event. But it all started with a group of firefighters and it just grew over the years. I'll say this now that Kids Day is still part of the firefighters thing, but there's a lot less firefighters on it than there are just everyday regular people who come from all walks of life. We have a great committee that's morphed into just this group of people who continuously band together each year to put together an event to raise money.
And all of you volunteer your time, and it's hours and hours and hours. How many volunteers do you think that you have right now?
So to put a number on it, I'd say we probably have close to 50 actual volunteers who come down every year to our 4-day event and help us out. But the core group is probably rough. The committee itself is roughly, I'd say 20 to 25 of us. So, we get a group of people that work all year long together. Kids Day isn't just 4 days in July, it's every day. Where every month we meet and we decide how our money is going to be spent and who gets a donate. We get donation requests, so we decide who those who gets those requests and who doesn't. Because as with any group that's a charitable group, you always get false donation requests. So we have to weed through all that stuff, and we give it to the people that need it the most. So we work, all throughout the year doing that.
Well, just give us a couple of examples. I know you can't name them all, but give us a couple of examples of the charitable organizations that you've donated to in the past.
So, there's no secret that the price of oil has gone up and down over the years, more up than down. So there's other groups out there that were developed to help senior citizens with oil assistance. So one of those, we donate to one of those groups. We made a substantial donation a couple times to those types of groups. St. Vincent de Paul Society was one that we continuously donated to. We donate to small local charities within the town, and we'll donate to individuals as well that need it. Also, we'll get a lot of requests for help with medical issues or medical bills, or if somebody needs a ramp built at their house because they need wheelchair access. We've done things like that in the past, and we continue to do stuff like that. Again, we get requests throughout the year. So we might get them from an individual, we might get them from a group like St. Vincent de Paul, or Cancer Society groups, or the Red Cross, stuff like that. And then sometimes we can find things on our own that we'd like to donate to as well, worthwhile groups. But a lot of times you'd find that most of these groups tend to do with healthcare issues, or people that are going through something that takes them out of their job, and they need certain things, like rent or bills help being paid and that type of stuff. Or even if they needed like rides to the hospital and stuff, we can help with gas costs and all that stuff. But those are just some of the examples. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and doesn't stop.
I know
So
one of the big ones is, because I know somebody that have had to take advantage of, is when you do pay for oil, because heating oil in the wintertime, as you
yeah,
mentioned, that the prices keep going up, and you have helped hundreds of families over the years
yeah.
in North Attleboro and around in the areas too.
Absolutely. It's very rewarding for our group of people, the volunteers, that come down here and work extremely hard the 4 days that we work, and in the heat too, just to see that money go back to somebody that needs it most. And a lot of times we'll get thank you letters from those people, and that just makes it even more rewarding. But that's not why we're in it. We're in it because we like to help people. But those moments really make it worthwhile.
And I saw some pictures the other day. You had the North Attleboro football team helping you put up that big tent.
Yes, they've been a great help over the last several years for us. Um, what we do with them is they come down, they help us take all our equipment out, lay it out for us. We ended up building all the stuff, and then they come back on Sunday when we're ready to clean up, and they take everything back and pack it away in the containers that we have down the other end of the field. Um, and what we do is we make a donation to them. Um, for their help. So it goes towards their team and whatever they need. Sometimes they need money to go to camp or equipment or whatever they do with it. But it goes to the team as a whole. It doesn't go to any one individual, but it goes to the team. And also, we have other teams that come down and help us too, like soccer, cheerleaders, etc. It goes on and on.
Good, because I believe in child labor.
Yeah, yeah,
Now, let's get to the day. Tell us a little bit about the day. And
yes.
I put it up on social media earlier today, and one of the questions they asked me to ask you is there going to be any buses this year? I guess you used a bus from Martin School down there. Uh,
So,
Help us a little bit
yep.
with that.
Okay, so that's a good question. As far as buses go, we haven't done the buses in the last couple of years, since we moved up to the middle school location. The reason for the buses were back when we were at Mason Field. There wasn't a whole lot of parking in that entire area, so we were busing people in from Martin School, and I believe there was one other location. I want to say it was maybe the community school or somewhere around there, but we were busing people in from there. We did away with the buses because logistically it wasn't working out, and not a lot of people were using them, unfortunately. So with the parking, with that being said, it's a good point. Actually, we do have a lot of parking up here. It is on a first come first served basis, and it is free. There is parking allowed on Landry Ave. Just be careful getting in and out of your cars, but people know that it's there. So hopefully, you just be safe about it. There's a vacant lot down the street from Kids Day. It's a little bit of a walk down Landry Ave, that we're allowed to use, and we're going to be cutting that and opening it up probably today, if not then sometime tomorrow. So no, to answer the question, no, we're not doing the buses this year again. It was just logistically becoming too much, and we did away with it. Um, yep.
Okay, and one of the things that you mentioned, if you made this a very family friendly event,
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about some housekeeping. There's no alcohol involved, and what
No,
else?
so we don't serve alcohol. It's on town property. It's also not only is it town property, but it's also school property. So on town property in North Attleboro, it's a bylaw. There's no alcohol allowed. So we ask you to refrain from bringing alcohol. Obviously, if the police see it, they're gonna have you removed. That's one thing. Parking, back to parking. We don't allow parking on Laurelwood Drive, which is right next to us. We need to respect our neighbors and do the best we can to keep those roads open for fire and emergency vehicles because it is a neighborhood. Same thing with Westwood Estates down the street a little bit. We ask that people don't park in Westwood Estates. So again, that's Laurelwood Drive and Westwood Estates, no parking, as well as Started Drive off of Town Street. Please refrain from parking in those areas. It's very important. Also, we ask that no dogs allowed. Again, that's another town bylaw in North Attleboro. There are no dogs allowed on town fields. But we also ask that you don't bring your dogs here because it is an event with a lot of people, a lot of loud noises. And I'm a dog person, so I refrain from bringing my dog here too. But it's very dangerous because they can become scared. And we don't want a dog to bite somebody. It's for the safety of the dog and then all the people involved. Same thing with the fire truck parade. You shouldn't bring your dogs to the fire truck parade because, again, same idea. Loud noises, lots of people. The dogs become scared and they can bite somebody. So we ask that you leave your dogs at home. And we just ask that people respect property of the school too, because they're gracious enough to let us. We're gracious for them for letting us hold our event up here. So just be courteous, and we ask people just to be decent people when they come here because it is a family-friendly event. We want to keep it that way. It's been a very safe event for the last 43 years. We want to
Absolutely.
keep it safe.
All right, and one thing you just mentioned, and it leads me into my next question. Tell us about the parade.
Yeah, so we have a parade. I'll try and remember the route as best as I can off the top of my head. I don't have my notes with me right now, but I've been doing this so long, so I should be good. It lines up at Mason Field, the old location, and it lines up at 10 a.m. and kicks off at 11 a.m. and usually gets to the middle school on Landry Ave right about noontime, which is the time we start our day. So it times it out just right. It leaves Mason Field. It goes up Elm Street towards the center of town. So it takes a right out of Mason, up Elm Street to the center of town, and then a right under North Washington Street. And then once you get through the center, past St. Mary's Church, it's going to take another right onto Elmwood Street, and then up Elmwood to Mount Hope Street, and then Mount Hope Street left onto Landry Ave, and then to the middle school from there. And it's all fire trucks, some police cars, maybe some tow trucks. Makes a lot of noise. It's a lot of
Yes, it
fun.
does. Yes, it does.
The kids seem to love it. I'm a firefighter. I still love fire trucks and sirens. So it's good for all of us. I usually watch it from the field up here because I'm usually up here doing some PR stuff. But yeah, I usually run out to the street and watch it go by. We probably usually end up with about 40 to 50 fire trucks. In years past, we've had as many as 70 to 100. So it varies every year. Fuel costs kind of puts a curve on that sometimes too. So unfortunately, we don't always get the amount of trucks we want. But hopefully this year will be a good turnout.
It will be. It will be. All right. Tell us the hours of Kids Day so people know when to come and when not to come.
Yeah. Okay. So we start tomorrow at 12 noon. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, each day starts at 12 noon. And we go till 11 p.m. That's our close time. Just a quick note on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you can buy ride tickets up till 10 o'clock, up to 10 p.m. And they're good for that one, they're good till 11 p.m. Okay. Sunday is 12 noon and we close down around 6 p.m. Sometimes it's a little earlier depending on how many people are actually here. But yeah, those are the hours. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 12 noon to 11 p.m. and Sunday 12 to 6 p.m. On Friday and Saturday night, we have fireworks at 9 p.m. or right around 9 p.m.
Well, and hopefully Mother Nature is going to be very good to you this year. It looks
It
like a
looks good.
beautiful weekend.
Yeah, it looks good.
Well, Scott, thank you very much for coming on the show today. Hopefully this word gets out a little bit more and you see a big crowd. I think you're going to see one anyways because this is such a popular event and you benefit so many of the nonprofits in the area. We want to say thank you, to your crew, to all your volunteers, because I know I put on a lot of events. I know how much work and man hours it takes to put these on. So a huge thank you to you guys. Any last thoughts for us?
No, you know what, Jack? Thank you guys for having us on today. Any little bit of publicity helps. You know, organizations like yours and ours, they do great things for the community. And I'm proud to be a part of this organization, but it's all the people that come here every day and work hard that make it possible for Kids A to be successful. And again, thank you guys for having us. Appreciate it.
Hey, and there's one guy I got to shout out to, Sean the Buddha Pierce. Uh,
Sean's a great guy.
He's an awesome guy. He's always involved in a lot of stuff, and I reached out to him, and he's the one who put me in touch with you. So
Well,
thank you,
I
Sean.
appreciate that.
Thanks for everything that you guys do,
All
folks.
right.
Thanks again for joining us on the United Regionals weekly update. We truly appreciate it. Want to thank James Friedman and all the team over there at AACS who put this together and put up with me every week. So, folks, I hope to see you over there at Kids Day. I bring my granddaughter; she loves it. So, thanks again, Scott. Everybody, stay safe.
Thank you.